Hey guys, what's going on? And welcome back to another weekly forecast and review. My name's Dion, and today I'm going through the Aussie dollar, I'm going through AJ, I'm going through the dollar index and the Bitcoin chart. So let's get right into it. Here on the chart we have the Aussie dollar. Now I'm going to explain what I have drawn on the charts real quick, just to make sense of everything. Most of it is labeled, so it should make sense. So let's go through it top to bottom. Here, obviously you see I have my upside target, and pay attention to the time frame. Currently we are on the daily. I have started doing my analysis on the larger time frames because this is the way that I've started to trade now. So I have my upside target. I have a 200 pip gain from this weekly level. So if you look here, it has a W, it has a W. All that means is it's a weekly level. So if we go over to the weekly, then you will clearly see here, this is where the rejections were. This is where price couldn't break down. So this for me is a key level because it is on a larger time frame. So it holds more power and significance to the key levels on the smaller time frames. So pretty much the way I analyze my charts is I went on to the higher time frames, the monthly and the weekly. I have these levels here that I have drawn on. Now, I did not draw on every single level on the charts because it'd be too cluttered. All I did was I drew on the main key levels, which are around where price currently is at the moment. So I have like two areas of support. I have this main key level, the 0.77, and I also have the next weekly key level here, which is the 0.765. Now, we are currently in between these two supports and the resistance, which is the 0.78, and I do have my target set to 0.8. So this upside target is a potential upside target. It really depends what happens within this area here. Price is consolidating. It's not trending. It was trending after there was a big impulsive move, like from key level to key level, from the 0.7 all the way up to 0.77. Now price has been ranging up and down for a bit, and we did see a touch up to the 8,000 level. This is where price strongly rejected it, and this is why I have set my targets up here, because this is where price previously was. If it continues in the uptrend, this is where price will make its way to next. So you may also see this purple box which I highlighted, labeled head and shoulders. Now this is the head and shoulders pattern. You haven't seen it yet because it is more clear on the smaller time frames, but I will quickly draw it out here. Here you have the left shoulder, you have the head, and here's the potential right shoulder. Now something that I've been focusing mainly on is not waiting until the pattern has formed to say, oh okay, this is where it's going now. I feel like it's a very good skill to learn how to see these patterns forming, like anticipating it. So I did see this area here. Now I see the head, which formed the weekly support. And now pretty much the reason why this target is a potential upside target is for a few reasons. First of all, price can make its way down, and honestly I would not be surprised, because if price decides to make its way down, then what that would do is it will form the right shoulder. So pretty much when you look at this right here, if I was to delete this head and shoulders, it does just look like price is in a downtrend, lower lows, lower highs. But here's the thing, there was a strong rejection 3 wicks to this weekly level. We did crack above the 0.77. So in Forex or whatever, when you're analyzing charts, we never know exactly what's going to happen. We can only see what has happened and go on from there. So that's why it's a big waiting game. It's lots of patience. The reason why I have this as a head and shoulders is because of this. We have the left shoulder, we have the head, and what we could do is come back down to the 7.7 as a support. Now, depending on what price does around the 0.77, that's when I'm really going to decide what trades I want to take. Well, it's just the very first step. If price decides to break below the 0.77 and push and create a lower low on the daily time frames, breaking below the 0.765, then we could be looking for sells. But if price respects this pattern and it does form a right shoulder bouncing off the 0.77, and if it does break and close above this weekly level of 0.78, then that's a different story. That's when I have the upside target. This upside target is only relevant if price does close clearly above the 0.78. So here we have the 4-hour time frame. It's a little bit more clear that the pattern is forming. We have touched up here. We could not break above the weekly resistance. So yeah, strong rejection off here. So we are currently in an area of consolidation. So I am waiting. I'm not going to really be taking any trades until I see price break out of this area. And depending how it breaks out, those are the trades I'm going to be taking. So for AU, the charts are pretty straightforward for me right now. I'm literally just going to wait and see if this head and shoulders pattern forms. If it does, I'm going to see. Is it going to clearly break above the 0.78? If it does, then I'm going long to the next target, which is the 8,000. If not, and if it starts creating lower lows, lower highs, and it breaks through both the 0.77 and the 0.765, then I'm looking for shorts. And the area which I would short to would just be the next significant area. So I'll look here on the weekly. I'll see where the wicks were last. And right here, I just see an area here, just above the 755. So really what it could be doing here is it could just drop and touch the 20 moving average, but we don't know. And I'm not going to try and anticipate too many steps forward. It's only, well, in my opinion, it's good just to try and look 1 or 2 steps ahead. That's all you can really see. With Forex, you can't really predict the 3rd or 4th move ahead because the 1st, 2nd hasn't really formed yet. So there's too many variables. So that's why it's better off just waiting. So we're coming back to the 4-hour time frame. Now this chart should seem a lot more clear since I have explained everything on here and what I'm looking for. So the upside target. If I am looking for upside, what that means is on the DXY, so the dollar index, I am looking for price to drop. Now what we saw here was a trend line coming up. So this is an ascending trend line which came up to a key level, the 92. Price has broken this trend line to the downside and it has broken past the significant level and come up to retest it and is currently making its way back down. Price is below both moving averages and the 7 is below the 20. So this is a clear sign of a downtrend for me or a big push, a big move to the downside. My next key level is at 88.7. And here on the daily, you can see that the downtrend is a lot more clear. If we go all the way back to April, we can see that price could not break above the 102. Big sharp drop all the way down. We did see a crack below this key level, didn't exactly reach the next support. Price has come up for a retest, but what we can see here is a strong rejection. It could not make its way up. Now, I wouldn't say that this is just a retracement, although it could be. Now, the reason why I say it might not be a retracement is because of this break of the trend line. Now, because of the way I trade and the way I have been analyzing the charts, based on my entire trading experience, these are the type of trades which I will take. So if price breaks the trend line to the downside and rejects a key level, then more than likely price is going to continue dropping and it's going to have a really good move to catch. The only thing that I'm looking at the moment, which I'm not really, well, I'd rather wait still with this, is price is sitting above the moving averages. So price is above the 7 and the 20 and the 7 is above the 20. So it's a little bit unsure right now. Well, I'm a little bit unsure. I'll take off the 20, but right here for me, it really depends how it reacts around these levels. So what we did see on the last day, so pretty much, yeah, price made 3 bearish candles. And then on the last day, which was the Friday, price did actually come up, try to, make some bearish movement, some bullish movement, but the bears have pushed it back down from this key level. So what I see here is just a break and a retest before making its way down. Now for further confluence, what I could do is chuck a fib on. And as you can see, it is a perfect touch into the golden zone. So that's further confluence. We'll head over into the 4-hour. So on the 4-hour, we do see price has broken below the moving average. So in this case, pretty much, if I'm looking for longs on AU, I will make sure that price breaks the last low. So if price breaks this low, then chances are it's going to continue its way down. So I'm going to combine my analysis, which I have just shown you on AU, with the analysis which I have just shown you on the dollar index. So now on the charts, you see I have AJ. I use AJ to track the strength of the Aussie mostly. So just trading AU by looking at the dollar index, that's all right. But the thing is, the dollar index is about the dollar. It doesn't really tell you how strong the Aussie is. Now, AJ, what I have found is it's really chill because, well, the yen I find is a chill pair. So most of the movement that you see on here could be just the Aussie. So what I found is there is a very strong correlation between AJ and AU. And I have learnt to put these correlations together to help my analysis. So you can see, like, all the way from November, we have seen a very, very bullish yen, Aussie yen. We are making it our way up to the next key level, which is 88. And what I can see here is there was rejections to the point, to the 8.4. And the last week, what we had is a strong push and close above that level. So now we'll go into the daily and see what happened. So here we even have the 84.5. Price before last week did not close above that. We showed a strong rejection to that area, and price sunk down. Just a retracement, just a pullback, but now price is on its way back up. It is above the moving average. It's probably above both, and yeah, the 7 is above the 20. And what day was that? On the 11th of March, we had a very strong bullish candle, which indeed closed above the minor resistance which we've had. So for the Aussie yen, I am also feeling bullish. Going into the smaller time frames, so we have an area here. This is where the sharp fall was. Price has not currently broken above that on these time frames, but I'm not too worried about the smaller time frames. All I'm concerned about is the daily and the weekly, because as I mentioned earlier, the larger time frames hold more significance and strength over the smaller time frames. So because I am bullish on the yen and because I am bearish on the dollar index, overall, that just tells me that I am bullish on the Aussie dollar, which is the pair which I trade the most. Now, although the confluences on all three of these pairs add up really well towards my direction, I will still not take any action until price has broken out of the area of consolidation. I'm going to be really patient with this. My new trading style is really just everything I have just described. But the key principle is the patience. Instead of waiting hours for the hourly confirmations, I am more so waiting for days for daily confirmations because they hold more strength and significance, as I mentioned a few times previously. So now we'll head over to BTC. There's some really interesting stuff going on here. So on Friday, pretty much what I saw is that price was about to break through a all-time high. So the all-time high being just above 58,000. Price made its way all the way up to 58.2. Got really close to 58.2, and now it's just slowly pulling back. Now, I do have some charts or some stuff drawn on my charts here. All I have is an ascending trend line paired with an area of support, which I found. Now, price has treated this trend line and area of support as a very strong pivot point. So price has retraced, or it's pulled back into this area. It found a lot of liquidity, and now it's bouncing back up, making very bullish movements. As you can see here by this arrow which I have drawn on. It's just indicating where I feel that price is going to go next. So my personal target for Bitcoin is 72,000, and I'm just waiting for it to get there. So for it to get there, it's going to need to break this all-time high. What I don't want to see is price forming a double top, and the thing is, it can do whatever it wants. It could form a double top, it could range, it could reject the double top, come back down to this ascending trend line, pick up some strength from there. I will illustrate this. So it could do something like this, find some strength down here and break back above, treat it as a support, and make its way up to the 72,000. This is definitely possible. I mean, we don't know for sure. Anything could happen. With Bitcoin, I don't trade it. I just invest in it. It's more so placing positions and holding and just leaving it there. But I do like to do my chart analysis and just have a look at the charts, just because it's fun. I genuinely enjoy doing chart analysis and seeing where price is going, especially if I'm invested in the asset. So that's it for this week's weekly forecast and review. I hope you enjoyed it. I did make sure that I prepared the charts beforehand. I didn't really want to freestyle it as I usually do. I wanted to put more time and effort into the chart so it's more accurate, it's more suited, or not so suited, but this is my exact current state of mind. I did put a lot of effort into drawing up the charts and making sure I am following the new way that I trade, which is pretty much the same way I was trading, but on larger time frames and paying attention more to the key levels and daily, weekly closures. Anyways, I hope this video has brought you guys some value. I'm just going to wait now, see what happens next week in the markets, and yeah, I'll catch you guys in the next one.